The Gas Station Karen Chronicles, a tale of entitlement and justice. They say justice wears a blindfold, but sometimes it just wears a tired detective badge and a coffee-stained shirt. It was one of those gray Tuesdays that already felt 3 days too long. The kind of day that weighed on your shoulders the moment you stepped out of bed. I was running late to the precinct and hadn't even had time for breakfast. All I needed was a tank of gas and 5 minutes of peace. What I got instead was an unsolicited trip through the theater of the absurd, suburban edition. My name is Detective Julian Grant. I work robbery and fraud cases mostly, but on that particular morning, I was about to experience a crime of a different kind. A crime against common sense. I pulled into the Evergreen fuel station on Bayside Avenue, a local spot nestled between a dry cleaner and a donut shop that always smelled faintly like burnt oil and powdered sugar. The place wasn't fancy, but it was reliable, unlike my car. My trusty old Ford Taurus had been through more high-speed pursuits than its manufacturer would approve of, and it needed gas like I needed caffeine. As I stepped out and swiped my card, I heard it, the unmistakable clack of designer heels on pavement and a voice that grated like a violin out of tune. "Excuse me." It wasn't a question. It was a declaration. I turned to face the voice and found her, standing with the poise of a queen without a court. She looked like every HOA board president nightmare rolled into one. Platinum blonde bob, oversized sunglasses that screamed overpriced, and a pearl necklace so aggressively pristine it might have filed a restraining order on humility. Her name turned out to be Meredith Langston, but I didn't know that yet. In my head, she was already Karen Supreme. "Yes," I said, trying to keep my tone neutral. "You're going to pump my gas," she announced, gesturing toward her immaculate white BMW X5 parked at the next pump. "I'm late for Pilates, and I simply do not have the time." I blinked. I looked at her. I looked at her car. I looked back at her. "I'm sorry, what now?" "You heard me," she said, tapping her perfectly manicured nails on her sunglasses. "It's the least you can do. You work here, don't you?" I was wearing jeans and a blue Oxford shirt. No name tag. No company logo. Just a detective badge tucked inside my waistband and a slowly rising disbelief in humanity. "Ma'am, I don't work here. I'm just getting gas for my own car. Also, even if I did work here, you can't just demand people do things for you." She scoffed. "Do you know who I am?" "Oh, here we go. I'm on the Homeowners Association board for Parkridge Estates. I practically run this side of town." I let out a low whistle. "That must be exhausting." Her lips tightened. "Don't get snarky with me. I will have you reported. You people think you can do whatever you want." Now, I'd heard that phrase before, and "you people" was doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. "Ma'am," I said, struggling not to smile, "I suggest you pump your own gas. That's kind of how this works." She narrowed her eyes. "This is harassment." And just like that, she whipped out her phone. "I'm calling the police." "You're calling the police on me?" "Yes. You're threatening a woman." "I don't feel safe." I pointed to the nozzle still lodged in my tank. "While pumping gas. That's quite the threat." But she was already dialing. I heard her voice rise an octave as she spoke to the dispatcher. "Yes, I'm at the Evergreen Fuel on Bayside. A man is threatening me." "Yes, a black man. He's being aggressive. I need an officer here right now." She glanced at me triumphantly, expecting fear or panic. What she got instead was mild amusement. "Go right ahead," I said. "I'll wait." And I did. I finished fueling my car, put the nozzle back, and walked inside the store to grab a black coffee and a glazed donut. When I came out, she was pacing, still on the phone, now gesturing wildly toward my car like I'd pulled a weapon out of the trunk instead of a travel mug. As I got back into my Taurus, I gave her a little wave. "Stay hydrated," I said. Then I drove away. Destination? The precinct. My actual workplace. 15 minutes later, I pulled into the lot of the Midtown Police Department. I walked inside, still chuckling, and made a beeline for Captain Denise Mercer's office. "Morning, Cap," I said, giving her a casual salute. "Might want to send someone to Evergreen Fuel. We've got a situation." "What kind of situation?" I told her the story. Not all of it. Just enough to convey that there was a very upset woman at the gas station making noise about harassment and demanding someone be arrested. Mercer raised an eyebrow. "Let me guess. Karen, grade A." She sighed. "I'll send Miller. You, get started on the Diaz burglary files." Aye, aye. I went to my desk and buried myself in paperwork. But by noon, Curiosity got the better of me. I stopped by dispatch. "Hey, Kevin," I said to the young guy manning the desk. "Any update on that gas station incident?" He chuckled. "Oh yeah, Officer Miller's still on site. She won't leave. Says she's traumatized, demanding someone be arrested for endangering a member of refined society." Her words, not mine. I choked on my coffee. "You're kidding." "Nope. Wants to press charges for harassment, emotional distress, and, I kid you not, gas negligence." Gas negligence? Yep. That was it. I needed to see this through. "Patch me through to Miller." Kevin gave me a look. "You sure?" "Absolutely." A moment later, Miller's voice came through. "Detective Grant. Thank God. This woman is, wow. Miller, play along with me. Ask her for a full description of the suspect. Hair, clothing, car. Everything." Okay." A few minutes later, he came back. "She says the man was 6 feet tall, black, blue shirt, jeans, and drove an old Ford Taurus." I grinned. "Perfect. What now?" "Tell her she needs to come to the station to file the complaint. Right now? Tell her you'll drive her car, and she'll be escorted by police. No exceptions." "You think that'll work?" "Oh, it'll work." And it did. An hour later, Kevin waved me down. "Grant, she's here. In the waiting room." Fuming, I walked out with my best poker face. And there she was, Meredith Langston, sitting with arms crossed, sunglasses still on indoors, like a discount Bond villain. "Good afternoon, ma'am," I said formally. "I'm Detective Julian Grant. I believe you wanted to file a complaint." She removed her glasses. Her mouth dropped open. "You? That's right. And you're here to press charges against me, correct?" Aye. Officer Miller said you'd be." "Arrested?" "Yes. He was gathering information. And now that we have your statement, we've hit a bit of a snag." Her eyes narrowed. "What do you mean?" I pulled up a chair and sat across from her. "You see, ma'am, filing a false police report is a crime, punishable by fines, and in some cases, jail time. But I was scared." "Of what?" "A man minding his business at a gas pump." She was silent. "Now, here's what's going to happen. You're going to write a formal apology. You'll state that your accusations were false and born from a moment of poor judgment. Or, we proceed with charges." She paled. "But I have Pilates. I'm sure your instructor will understand." Within minutes, she was scribbling the most half-hearted apology I'd ever seen. I signed it, stamped it, and handed her a copy. "You're free to go, Mrs. Langston. But next time, pump your own gas." She stood and practically sprinted out of the precinct, her bob bouncing like a metronome of humiliation. 2 days later, Mercer handed me a memo. "Complaint from Meredith Langston. Claims emotional distress. Wants an internal investigation." I laughed. "What did you do with it?" "Filed it," she said, smirking, "right under circular file." So no, it wasn't the biggest case of my career, but it was one I'll never forget. A reminder that not all battles are about evidence and suspects. Some are about principle. Some are about pushing back against entitlement dressed in pearls. And some are just about pumping your own damn gas.